I know people are probably always asking you what are the best wines at the cheapest price.
Yeah.
But what if I were?
What? I don't like anything that's like some of the Australian, like anything that they make a big quantity of.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I normally stay away from like the Gallows and all that stuff because it's
probably some of them are okay. I mean, but I don't know. I generally buy all my wine experience and buying experience is I buy from small producers who don't do a lot of pesticides and herbicides, if any. They try really hard.
And who can buy from these people? Anybody or just really?
I mean, it's just the problem is every state is like a different country, right? So they have a different system. And
but for personal use, let's say I wanted to buy, a case of wine from France.
It's hard.
Oh, really?
Very hard. I actually,
how about a bottle? Can I buy
I actually was speaking. I went on I just repatriated from the UK, and I was just traveling around France. And this one woman at this one winery said to me, she finally found somebody, and I don't know who. She found some service where people could buy wine from her in France, and she could get it to them in the U.S. And she has a couple people importing her wine. And
why
she sells
is it so hard? I mean, what's the
because of it's tax and it's
I mean, even for like a bottle. I mean, I actually haven't traveled to.
Let's put it this way: I work with a lot of wineries from France and Germany and elsewhere, and this one winery, they decided that they were going to send a lot of their top customers, their top restaurateurs, sommeliers, a bottle of wine for Christmas to say thank you, right? And we begged them, my boss begged them, do not do that, that's just going to cause a lot of problems. And then what ended up happening was customs took all of them, all the bottles, and it ended up, like at the time I was living in Jersey City, New Jersey, which was strange. And ironically, the bottles all ended up at this customs area in Jersey City, New Jersey, in the middle of nowhere. And it was me that had to keep going there to pick up the bottles and pay whatever say sorry, and it was like actually a lot of work. I would go to this empty, like it was like an industrial waste site where this place was. It was really bizarre. And I'd walk in, there'd be nobody there, and he'd be like, hello, anybody here? And, and then I'd have to hunt down the bottle that was supposed to go to the wine dude in New York, at Lutece or whatever the restaurant was, or you know what I mean, whatever.
What a waste of resources.
Right. And I tried to send my brother. I thought I could some scotch, just one bottle, and they stole it.
And all this,
and they don't have to give it back to you. This is the thing: if you send spirits, they can steal it from you. Yeah. It's like civil forfeiture or something.
Exactly. I was just going to say that.
It's like they don't need to. I can just pretend that I think you must be a drug dealer or something, and I'm just going to freaking steal your $300 off of you, and I've got a uniform on, and I can do it. And good luck to you, and you can go to court. It's on you. Onus on you to prove. Blah blah blah. You get what I'm saying?
So it is indeed just theft. That's coming that's coming basically from a false premise to begin with, because the entire war on terror is bullshit.
Of course it is. My God, I have this huge fight with my husband every time we would land to the American airport when we were living abroad, and then you'd get treated kind of like you're a criminal because you don't live there.
Yeah, right.
And then why are you not there? And I'm like,
you should have worn a burqa.
I'm still freaking paying taxes, asshole. And I don't live here, and there's plenty of people that are here that aren't paying any tax whatsoever.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is super annoying. And then we go through, I'm like, okay, so we're the Americans, and we go through the American line, which is 2 stops instead of 1 stop now.
Yeah.
And the foreigners only have a 1-stop shop. Yeah. They just got to go see the person. But we have to do both this machine, right? Take a picture, because they're probably recording your face but they already have you. If you're on Facebook, if you're already on Facebook, what you didn't know, and you know now, so that was a facial recognition. This is a CIA op, in my opinion.
They have your face down,
baby, and now And if you're in a video, now they got your movements down, and they do have machinery for that as well. They can tell by how you walk, even if you're wearing a burqa, that could be so-and-so in a crowd.
Absolutely correct. Let me tell you how scary it is. Last week, I went to Best Buy just to buy some cheap earphone plugs for the phone. But while I was there, I was just walking around, looking at the new gadgets and whatnot, right? I paid cash.
Oh, yeah, you're treated like a criminal these days.
I get home, and immediately, the next few days, all these advertisements from Best Buy are coming up for the things I was looking at.
Wow.
How scary is that? I mean, I paid cash.
These phones are just little, they're little Stasis.
Oh, absolutely.
Stasi bots.
Indeed. How come you're so damn knowledgeable? Where are you getting all your news from?
I research everywhere. To the annoyance of my husband. It's like, you sound like a freak, stop it.
Oh my God, I hope that this is not going to cause a divorce. I mean, I hope that, there have been a lot of divorces over the politics of the past year because of, him getting in and, people support him and, the spouse doesn't. And next thing you know, they get a divorce. Or worse. But yeah, isn't the psychology of this strange? Because that's what I try to express in my work, is like, it seems like people either get it or they don't.
Oh. Most people, what I come to the conclusion of, it's all about them, and that's what it all is. And if they want to do, they don't want any restrictions on themselves.
Yeah, well, it's
they don't want any
me, selfish kind of a thing. Yeah, of course.
I can't move there because everybody feels entitled to be able to move where the hell they want.
Well, again, it's a feeling.
And when they get there, they want to get things for free.
Yeah.
And weren't you giving me this and this and this? I want more.
I've talked to a lot of pastors of big churches and professors and educators who basically, the majority of them come to the consensus that the 20 and 30 somethings are just adrift. That they're going to die in the desert for lack of knowledge.
Well, they've been misinformed.
Oh, indeed.
And brainwashed, and but even like Gen X generation, I have plenty of people that I know, and just entitled.
Yeah. Now, I do have hope, though, for this reason. I've been, like last week, which I was out here, I ran into an extraordinary amount of liberals. I mean, Berkeley, bust out, California.
You mean classic libertarians? Or?
Yeah, Massachusetts, right? That weren't the stereotype, that would question. They'd come up, they'd start, and they listen.
Yeah.
And would actually come around. I get emails from them, saying, you've given me this way to think about it. I've looked up what you said, and it's true. And so do you see an awakening of sorts also, even though
in Europe, there is some, but you have to be really careful and do it on the down low, because it's basically a hate crime to even think differently. So I would talk to some people there, but like, where's the cameras,
Really?
And
it's that bad?
Now in the UK, if you go to certain websites, like pretty soon InfoWars is going to be one of those where you're just going to be classed an extremist. Remember there was a few months ago, or whatever, I don't even remember, several months ago, all of this to me is coordinated globally, but they make it so it looks like, it's just independently happening. Some professor in upstate New York or whatever who created this list of fake news list, right? Bullshit. This is all this is all orchestrated from a very small group of people globally, and they'll say, you over there are going to do that, and you over there are going to do this, and then they start it, and they use exactly the same talking points, and you're like,
same
you could be in
MOs,
France, and you're like listening, I speak French, and you're listening, and I'm like, fuck, they're saying the same shit as they are in Germany, as they are in Sweden, as they are in the UK, as they are in the US, as they are in Canada. It's like the same talking points.
Anybody that's done the channel flip.
If you start to...
And you flip through the channels, not only do they say the same words, a lot of times it's the same inflections.
Yeah. 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 So this isn't like they're pulling it out of their butt. It's like, wow, they're just using the same
Now,
words.
there have been a lot has come out in the past few weeks alone. It looks like the Clintons are being thrown under the bus.
Right. You see, what I'm trying to figure out, my mystery is, it all started with the Weinstein guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why right now? The question is, why right now? Why him? Why are they starting to hit on some of Hollywood? I don't believe in this Corey, the guy that's supposed to come out with all the pedo names or whatever. But then, like, I saw a video where he was, doing the 666, and he was like tweeted a lot of anti-Trump stuff, and you're like,
you're gonna watch out for double agents.
You're like, there's a lot of false opposition out there. I suspect a lot of the quote-unquote alt-right is just infiltrated stuff. That Spencer guy, I think he's false. I think a lot of these people are just, what are they, FBI, CIA, whatever, whoever. I don't even know.
If I may, my insight onto this is that Trump started the pedophile task force on February 17th.
But, yeah.
And one of the tactics used by the elites, of course, is sexual blackmail.
Right. It's the pedophilia.
So I think...
and the satanic worship and the eating and the cannibalism and the whole nine yards.
Right. And so him busting like 15,000 pedophiles in the past since February, starting at the bottom and working the way up the food chain. I think that this is where it is coming from. This is a fruition of these investigations and people turning on other people.
Right.
And that's why the popes, those cardinals got busted.
Yeah.
They busted a whole bunch of politicians at the G20 for child sex.
Oh, they're all in on it.
They're
all like...
man, that's why I say it's taking away that tactic is a huge thing to do in this fight.
Yeah.
So I think that's why, because, even the Saudis...
So they're like cutting off the big rot, and hoping that everybody forgets.
I think they're hitting the most vulnerable spot. That's the weakest link they have. It's their strongest and their weakest link.
Yeah. And
if you can take that down, which is being taken down now, and
then they hope that they can stay whole.
See, we want to make sure it doesn't go overboard.
Right.
They don't start using it as a weapon against
us.
Right.
I see where you're going with this, and I agree with you. It's scary. Like, I don't like this Weinstein or Kevin Spacey or whatever, but they didn't go to court. And now what people are like, it's...
Oh, I think they should go to... I don't fully believe the allegations.
Absolutely, I do too.
I mean, they've admitted to it, so,
Right, but I just worry that they're going to turn it against us. See what I mean?
Well, indeed, but I think we're still smart enough. Look, with all the things that we have against us, the media, of course, the entire establishment, Silicon Valley, Hollywood, Wall Street, Trump's own party.
Yep.
With all of this, he still won. We're still moving forward.
I hope we're still moving.
Oh, sure.
But some people worry that, I worry that he himself is just one end of a faction.
Oh, indeed.
I think he is. I just think, I definitely think he's part of the deep state. I think it's just more the pro-human side of the deep state, who doesn't necessarily want to see 90% of us get killed.
Yeah, I don't think he's like the saint a lot of people will, the savior.
No.
That ain't happening. But it's at least in the right direction. He took us, we were almost walking into this. We were at one leg.
I know.
And he kind of at least grabbed us by the collar and went, what's what you're saying?
Yeah.
So hopefully we have some more time, because it is about time. It's just about seeing how many people we can save in the little time we have. Because eventually this is going to collapse.
It will collapse.
Yeah, and I always remind people of the reality situation. Most people are not aware of the reality of these things.
You could tell them, though. I try to tell people, and my husband says, "You just sound crazy."
Jesus, he has no idea what a gem you are.
It's.
And you know why? it again, man. That's the man. Why doesn't he see it? Why is he listening? You know, it's
because
always
you know why.
It's always
It's the
family
same-
and friends that are the hardest to convince of
It's
anything.
the same thing with, like, I have a brother that I've been incrementally saying things to. It's because it's too frightening.
No, yeah.
It's too frightening, and they feel powerless. The deal is, like, this is also a spiritual battle.
Exactly.
And we have to understand that this is happening on many layers.
Yes.
And all you should care about is trying to protect your family and
Right.
whatever, and everybody else, you know, you
And
can't.
do what you can. Keep on doing the good thing. Just keep on doing the good deed. If it ends tonight, if you get hit by a bus, at least you went out trying.
Yeah.
Because eventually we're all going to die anyway. I mean, it'd be nice if we could all get to that spot where, all the bad people are gone. I can see the culling. I can see a good many people not making it.
Oh, yeah.
But those that will do, I think, are going to come into a whole nother beingness of way of living.
If they don't chip us and all that.
Well, that's the thing is, if we take control of the technology doesn't take control of us. We have to use it as a tool, like everything else is.
You know what it is? I think we have to get a lot smarter and better, and we can't be sitting in front of the boob tube.
Oh, well, yeah.
And
I think that's happening. People are turning off their TVs.
It's interesting. Well, I think there's this that there's a lot more to us than we operate on different levels, right? And it's interesting to me how I'm noticing some people close to me that are out of the blue deciding, I want to learn how to can food. You're like, wow, that's kind of an interesting thing that you want. And I've suddenly decided I'd also like to learn how to do some woodworking and some more hands-on kind of stuff.
Now, that could have been from a
saying?
seed you planted. I've seen that happen in the years of my activism. Something I've said would see the fruits of, 4, 5, 6 years down the road. Where, man, now I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I remember planting that seed. That's all we can do. That's what I'm doing out here. These kind of discussions.
Yeah.
People walk by, they drop in, they add their 2 cents. And
what do you mostly read?
Books.
What
I like books.
Yeah.
Just ordered Scott Adams, Win Bigly. I really like his train of thought. This one I just finished. It's by Peter Dale Scott, and this is the kind of book you need to read a couple of times over, because he gets, he's an academic who gets, there's a lot of names in there and a lot of dots to be connected.
It's amazing when you start researching it, though. You start to see some of the same names, same kind of, same profile.
If you haven't ever read it, the book that turned me on to everything was None Dare Call It Conspiracy. And 1972, it was Richard Allen that wrote that one. And it's just a thin little book, but it really connects the dots. I mean, it just goes all the secret societies and the names.
Read any, like, Eustace Mullins stuff?
No, but I know the name.
Yeah. There's so many people now that are out there.
Well, we thank God for the internet. I mean, Jesus. I mean, I don't know why you can. To me, we're all Einstein with the search engine. I can't understand why people get caught up in being so stupid. I mean, just look it up. I challenge them all the time. I'll give you 10 to 1 odds, and we'll look up anything we say and to see who's right, and let's do that. And of course, you get all the excuses.
Because it's indefensible.
Yeah.
Their point of view.
Yeah.
My husband is actually conservative, more or less. He's more, I don't know, maybe more neocon-y kind of thing, and I'm more classic libertarian, or actually just don't believe, kind of little anarchy mixed in. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Well, hopefully, start
leaving
some articles around, print out some stuff, and let them read some stuff,
he doesn't like it.
Biggest trick the devil ever pulled is to make you believe that he doesn't exist. And that's what a lot of this is. I mean, you just had the argument recently with someone trying to give the defense of Clinton. It says, "Are you trying to tell me that all these agencies and all these media outlets are all in on this conspiracy?" Yes. So, you know, a lot of people can't get past that. Well, that rips out my whole world.
Well, one of my brother's thing is, I said to him, Alan, at the end of the day, this is a massive consolidation that's happening right before your very eyes. And all these engineered collapses, well, every time they're grabbing more and more and more, and then you're looking around, who controls the water? Who controls all the farms that used to exist, that used to be all these family farms, and now it's all by a handful of corporations. While we're fighting, squabbling about kneeling in an NFL game or whatever the hell, they're doing all this.
Control the food, control the water. Got them. And then, you know, the media goes on and on.
The media, the education, nationalize the health system.
My latest creation.
Yeah. Yes. Nice.
This is a monument to stupidity. I figure they'll never tear that one down.
I was there that day, you know.
Get out, really? Yeah. Which monument? Which?
For 9/11.
Really?
I lived in Jersey City, and I used to travel through the Trade Center every morning. And I missed whatever that was that happened that morning, a half hour. And of course I breathed in everything, you know, it was like burning, whatever it was burning. And I couldn't own up to the fact what happened because it never made sense to me. I stood like 10 blocks away and I watched it turn into dust. Poof. And its footprints just like, you know, disintegrating. And of course, at the time, you know, you're not an engineer, but, you know, you're like,
right, it still doesn't make sense.
Do buildings do that? I mean, does a steel building kind of just...
If you built the sandcastle on the beach.
And why would people be jumping out of the building, like, you know, anyway. And then you start to hear some different theories years down the road when you're open to it, and you walk down, you're like, wondering, why are we in all these dumb wars? And we never seem to win any of them, and it doesn't even make sense why we're there. And then you hear about China coming in and taking the resources of Afghanistan, but we've paid all this money. You know, you're like, why? And then it like occurs to you that it all stemmed from this event.
Has anything...
And it was convenient in
you
so many
most
ways.
likely, I guess, were in some state of shock with what was going on that day.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't get off the island, or I just ended up, it was just odd. One of my brothers was in the city at the time on business, so I walked up to his hotel and couldn't get back to Jersey.
Do you remember anything that was odd, that would have been of significance?
Well, yeah, the fact that you see the whole way up there, and you're like, but it shouldn't collapse. Like, you shouldn't believe that the building would collapse.
Right.
And then I did see like the burnt out cars. I don't know if you've ever listened to Judy Woods.
If I may, there was a lady who came by here one day who was an EMT on the day of 9/11 on her way to the Twin Towers, who was stopped by a bomb squad 2 blocks away. Said, stay right here, don't go any closer. He said, well, we got to go do our job. You can't, you know, what are you saying? While they were standing there discussing why they can't move any further, the street they were going to go down, the cars just started blowing up. Boom, 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 boom. They took their cameras out and took pictures of this.
And they took their cameras away, didn't they?
That night, the company called up and said, everybody turn in your cameras.
I hope somebody took their stupid film out.
Kept the pictures.
When's that going to come out?
I asked her to send them to me, and she hasn't sent them yet, so I don't know.
Is she a little worried about her health?
She didn't seem to be. I mean, she was candid enough to be out here with me and tell me the story. I asked her up front. You know, she told me she was there at 9/11. I said, well, tell me your experience. Do you have a story? She says, yes. And she was just, it wasn't like she was reluctant or anything. But it did affected her to the point where she quit and moved down to Florida. You know, she quit being her profession because it affected her so much.
Oh yeah.
So what else did you experience? You mentioned about the burned out cars. What was your experience with that?
You know what? You didn't question. I mean, I don't know. You were just so like shell shocked.
Yeah.
And then of course there was the accusations that it was an inside job, and if you were conservative and you voted for them, it's very hard in New York to be. You know, you don't want to believe that. That they were in on something, right? So you're in denial about that.
Sure.
And then later I just realized they're all one big fat happy one uniparty.
So really 9/11 kind of woke you up, was the spark that kind of tipped you into the deep state thing of things.
Yeah, but kind of more like I would say later it just sort of clicked one day that it's all a joke.
Sense. You just go, well, this
it just can't be. And then especially when you started to see them like yucking it up for the cameras, like Bill and Hill and
then you look at all the other false flags since then,
and
Sandy,
and they all have the same flavor. I'm like, let me guess, it's a lone whack job.
Now, what are your latest feelings on Vegas and the shooter in Texas? Have you given that any thought?
I don't even pay attention anymore. I mean, I lived in the UK and it was the same deal. Like, I'm like, let me guess. Like, let's think about this logically. Let's assume that you're this ultra orthodox, whatever, is Muslim extremist. I'm going to go to an Ariana whatever concert. It just seems so messed up to me.
Yeah, well,
that's just like stupid.
What's come out now, because the Saudis have a big connection with Mandalay Bay, and there was a big Saudi meeting in Vegas at that time. So, and all these this changeover in regime right now.
Right.
It's all connected. It's all connected.
Yeah. How is that? I mean, like some say that the new Saudi guy, that they're in the hole because of the cheap price of oil, right? So there are billions in the hole, and of course, if they can't pay off all these different factions in Saudi Arabia, it's a very unstable place. So that this was all a move of civil forfeiture, if you will, of the richest. That,
and it's because the money's been cut off from the Bush-Clinton crime cabal. So
why? Because he's done that,
right? And because Clinton,
hate his guts.
Now they're turning on Clinton. I mean, they've thrown her under the bus. So all those that sided with her, that were in that faction, are getting purged. They're just getting wiped out.
They are just evil, awful people.
God.
Involved in
you can't even make this stuff up.
DynCorp.
I know. Yeah, the worst of the worst.
Human trafficking.
I know, the worst of the worst.
Taking children from Haiti, probably eating them. I mean, it's just...
Think of the worst you can think of and then go further. It's horrible.
It makes me mad that, there's people in my family, and I say this to my husband, you're arguing with them over stupidities when you should be asking them, why would you support... Like, I don't care if you don't want to vote for DJ or DT. Go vote for third freaking party. Like, I don't care, but why would you for her?
Yeah. I mean, I really kind of, one of those, I spoke to a Bernie bot here last week.
Oh,
nice young lady.
I'm from Vermont, by the way.
Yeah, nice young lady.
I hate that guy.
Nice young lady. But she was willing to listen, and she was willing, and I asked her, I says, well, how do you feel about Bernie stabbing you in the back and then going with Clinton?
Yeah.
And I asked
that's why he was controlled opposition from the get-go.
Yeah,
some 75-year-old jerk who's never done anything more than a state of 600,000 people and was a mayor of a 35,000 person town.
And I asked her, well, who did you eventually vote for? She says, well, I took his advice and voted for Clinton. I says, but how can you do that? I mean, if you truly wanted anti-establishment, because both Sanders and him were presented the anti-establishment. Indeed, they went at it from different directions, but they were not the establishment, which is everybody's against. So why would you even bother doing that?
Maybe.
How you doing, folks?
Don't take a picture of Hillary.
Oh well, here, let me help you out. Let me take. You can take that picture, Hillary, as long as we disrespect her.
That's illegal.
Not where I come from. Not.
No,
But he's a good guy. Get in there. I'll give you a picture of the two of you.
No.
Let me get a picture of the two of you just with him. How's that?
Trump. I know when the hell. No, I don't.
Okay, come on. No, she ain't gonna be in it.
I'm not getting the picture of Hillary.
She's not gonna be in it. I got her cut out entirely.
You better.
I'm listening to him, man. I ain't doing so. Make sure you like that picture now.
Do you think he likes her or what? Huh? Thank you, Dad.
Thank you. If you'd like to contribute to the Bulletproof
I know
Vest
one
Fund.
thing. If I ever commit a crime, I'm getting Hun Bill to come get me, man. Get me out of
Well,
here.
that's why I'm going to give you this. This is a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton.
Oh, that's adorable.
That's good for any crime in the world.
It is.
But all you have to do is identify yourself as Hillary, and you never do that. So give it to a liberal friend. They have no shame.
I'm going to get you on the way back.
All right, brother
We
man.
have liberal friends too, and I tell you what, I have to zip my mouth shut.
My niece is liberal.
I could go off on them. Oh. Donna.
Hi, you believe Donna?
Donna or Hillary?
Yeah, which one do you believe?
Donna, the CNN.
Donna Brazil.
Oh, Donna Brazil.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
Which one do you-
she's saying that, you know, that Hillary stole the nomination, which is pretty, you know, common knowledge. We all know she stole it from Sanders. She signed a secret agreement to take over the DNC. So the whole thing was a charade. And then, of course, Sanders, having no principles whatsoever, went, oh, yeah, I'm going to back the
Clearly
ball.
you believe Donna.
Huh?
Clearly you believe
Well, it was common knowledge. And she's
believe
coming out.
Donna.
I do.
Yeah.
We all
Easily.
believe Donna.
We know.
Yay, Donna.
Sanders got an extra house out of it.
And
Yeah, exactly.
He's got
Oh, yeah.
3 houses.
And a red Volvo.
yep.
He's a socialist, but he's got 3 houses. How does that work? Somebody tell me how that works.
Indeed.
What did
Hey,
Hillary, what
when
did
he
Hillary's
needs a
foundation
break,
do
Larry,
all
you
the
can
money?
go and take over his place.
I don't want to take over his place. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. If
What
you'd
did
like to
Hillary-
contribute to the Bulletproof Vest Fund or the Piss Party Campaign Fund, don't let me stop you guys.
What did Hillary's foundation do with all her dough? That's what I'd like to know.
It's in her bank account.
They're not winding it down.
145 million on the Uranium One deal alone.
Exactly, yeah.
Holy schmoly!
I know Bill got like $500,000 to give an hour speech to that bullshit.
I
And they
do it.
sold
I do it for a lot less.
And they sold it. To
Here's get a jail free card for you, sir.
All right.
Oh, well.
God bless you. Anybody else would like one?
Yeah.
I'm going to need this.
Thanks, Valeria.
There you go.
I think I gave that to Jen. No, I wouldn't give it to Miss Hillary. She had too many get out of jail free cards.
I know that's for your use, but as again, you have to identify as Hillary, so you probably won't use it. Just you know,
Sure.
you got way too much
The
class.
sad part is she's going to get away with it.
I don't think so. There's 31 indictments already rooting up on her. She's not getting away this time. They're throwing her under the bus.
Oh, I hope so. That'll be my happiest day.
Amen. I don't think lock her up wasn't just a campaign
Well,
slogan.
she was down last year before the election, and she sent me a picture of him with him.
Oh yeah.
And she got me a voodoo doll, and I made it into a Hillary,
Oh.
and it worked. It worked.
Did you put like needles?
Yes, yes,
Oh, my
yes,
God.
it worked. I'm like, the night of the election, I'm like, I'm looking at the voodoo dolls right there with me, and I'm going, you better stop working, damn it. And then all of a sudden,
Can you imagine what must have happened that night? Apparently, she beat the crap out of Uma and out
she
of
was
Robbie
drunk.
Mook. She just like went off. She like throwing crap at these people.
And
like,
Mook's still out there
abusing
defending her.
Huh?
And Mook's still out there defending her.
I'm ashamed of the two people.
No, you stand over there and I'll grab her.
oh my God, I love it. Say Gigi. Thank you. All right.
Here's a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton for you.
Here, take one. I'm gonna. What's that one for?
You have to donate towards the board.
That's the child for Vets for Child Rescue. This is rescuing children Put it in there.
All right, look at those. Make sure
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Did you get out of jail
Yeah,
free?
he did.
All right, good.
Okay.
All right, you stand over there, and there we go. I'm gonna do the nasty again.
I'm a little slow here. Okay. All right. Say cheese. Okay, got it. Wow, this is the happiest you've looked on the trip. That's hilarious.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. She said that where she got it was.
I'm like, the guy was down here last time I was here, and then when we saw you, I'm like, there he is.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, ladies. God bless you all.
You too.
Anyway, I shall let you go. But it was.
I'm glad. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me. You've been a joy. I hope everything works out for you. I hope you're, I'd buy wine from you anytime.
Thank you. You know what? I should start something called Patriots Wine Selection.
Oh, indeed. I think
But then they won't give me a license. Anybody that's got Patriot in their name, nope.
Go underground. We'll buy Bitcoin. God bless you. All right. Beautiful 40 minutes there.